Watch this. These are not conditions that you should be exiting in many boats on my channel. Outgoing tide, incoming waves, ripping into it, 30 mile an hour. Ridiculous. So smooth, high bridge deck clearance. This is what a catamaran can do for you. Awesome. Let's put it to the test. Okay guys, I am deliberately putting it on this angle at the moment. I've just done a wide shot with the drone, so I want you to pay attention to the lumpiness of the sea we are in right now. On the way to this shoot location, we had to drive through a no-fly zone because we're going past an airport. I was sitting in the bow, right up the front, bumping through waves just like this. But the thing is, we weren't bumping. I was completely smooth. It's incredibly smooth, this hull. So that's going to be the point I want to convey to you in this drive. So first thing we're going to do, I have a boat approaching my bow. I'm just going to see what direction he's doing. He's making a few course corrections. And as soon as I've clear of him, what is he doing? He's driving straight at us, and then I'm going to accelerate. No, I think he's coming to say hello. Do you know this guy, Wade?
Maybe. What's up, guys? You good? Hey, where's my commander?
Friendly bunch out here. Okay, 3, 2, 1, accelerate. Okay, so initially I just give it a bit of juice and then I settle back down into a cruise mode. We're running the 350, but we're running the V10s, so they're quite torquey. You do feel the pickup on this one. I'm actually at 3,800 RPM, minimal trim. The hull is just fantastic. It's a complete game changer if you are coming from a monohull. This is just going to be such a game changer. We're at 24.5 miles per hour and I've got 24 gallons per hour cruise, but I'm going to increase that speed a little bit, just eyeing the surface for wildlife and fishermen's pots essentially. But now we're approaching 27 mile an hour. I see 28, 29 gallon total fuel flow, and that's 4,150 RPM. Smooth. Directional stability is amazing. The hull is doing everything. You don't need to do a lot of course corrections. This boat will just sit on course pretty much in a straight line and predictably. We've got the swells coming in this direction at the moment. So I'm going to turn into them in a second. So I'm doing 27 mile an hour. The attitude is level and we've hardly had virtually no bow raise. Now I'm just going to come around. I'm just doing gradual turns at the moment. I'm not doing aggressive turns. And I'm at 4,100 to 4,200 RPM. Got time to grab my sunnies. I'm so relaxed at the helm here. Ordinarily, now we are just about to start going into it. Love the full windscreen. And I've actually left this hatch in the middle open for airflow. I really like this. This is a perfect summer boat or hot country boat, but you may or may not notice I didn't even adjust the throttles before I went into the swells. Ordinarily, if I was on a monohull, anything with a fuller bow forward, I would have turned into those waves, lowered my speed, adjusted myself on the new course. Okay, there's some fisherman spots. I'm all clear. And then I would have increased my speed as I feel out the conditions. This thing, because I've already done it this morning, another fisherman spot, all clear. It's just amazingly smooth. Something else in the water, gonna stay clear of that. It's amazingly smooth. We are just gliding across the surface and it's completely foreign to any monohull ride. It's so much, when I say foreign, it's completely superior, because this sea state, which is a short, bunched up sea state, should be uncomfortable. It is just not. Okay, these Mercs are great. Engine levels are considered like they're minimal, they're fine. I could still hold cold conversation with people here. Although if they're out back, I might need to raise my voice to have a yarn with them. So let's just adjust our course now. Situational awareness from a visibility perspective is incredible. And now just coming around, we're going to do a full speed run in a second. So now I'm going to have those swells on my beam. So now they're on my beam and just holding that course, here they are. And it's actually displacing the waves. It's displacing the wash out in this direction. I think if it was a really, really windy day, you might want these clears in here to protect you from any spray coming in. But in moderate conditions, so Mediterranean, Caribbean, Florida conditions, not so necessary. Australia, a strong nor'easter, you may need, or coming home from Perth, from Roto, you may need to put the windward side in and leave the leeward open. Let's try some wide open throttle. And because I've just been doing this whole run between 4,100 and 4,200 RPM, we haven't broken 30 gallons an hour fuel flow. So let's do that, because why not? Gradual turn, heading south. So now I've got the swell behind me, and then it's going to be off my port aft quarter. My revs are now at 4,800 RPM. My speed's at 30 mile an hour. I'm not full throttle yet, still increasing slowly. Okay, now I'm full throttle, 34 mile an hour and climbing, 35 mile, 36 mile, just doing a little bit of a trim up, 37 mile, 5,400, 5,500 RPM, 60 gallons consumption. So we've doubled our fuel consumption. I'm seeing 40 mile an hour. And I want to note the directional stability still feels safe, controllable. And I see 41 mile an hour back in that speed of, going to come into the swells again. Seriously good stuff, guys. Seriously good stuff. So I'm doing moderate turn. Remember, it's a catamaran. So the turning circle, when you turn, it's not going to lean into the turn so much. So if you just do a hard turn, you might freak people out a little bit. Their drinks might slide across the table. Well, I know we're talking first world problems here, but hey, that's what this channel's about. So back into the swells, 27 mile an hour, back to 4,100 RPM. We're going to test slower speeds in a second. I am going to do this first turn before I get to those pots, and we're just going to do a little bit of S-turning action. So this is what I'm saying. If you feel these turns with me now, I'm just varying those speeds going through. I got one fisherman spot there. One, it's a mooring buoy. It's a big mooring buoy. It's not a fisherman spot. And so you can do hard turns, but I would suggest if you're going to do that, prepare your mates, because they might slide off the seat, because it's going to grip and it's going to turn. I mean, I'll actually just do that. Wait, I'm just going to do a semi-tight turn. So 3, 2, 1. Yeah, just grips. And it goes. Awesome. Okay, now let's check some of that slower speed fuel economy. Okay, so I'm now going down to 24 mile an hour. 24 mile an hour, that's 3,750 RPM. I see 23 gallons consumption. Let's get down to 3,200, 3,100. Let's try and hold it above 3. I'm now at 16 gallons per hour for 18 mile per hour, or I'll call it 17, 18 with these waves. Speed return. Remember, this is not flat water conditions, so you'll get slightly better figures in flat water. And now I'm just going to adjust my course a little bit, and let's just see when she sort of wants to come off the plane, 3,000 RPM, just sitting there down swell now, 2009. We're still, in a way, almost planing here. I'm doing, no, now we're sinking our butt at 12 mile an hour, just under 3,000 RPM. Fuel flow hasn't actually changed, so let's just drop it back a bit. You know, you're definitely making wash, so this is really only just factoring in transit speeds. If you were just wanting to go slowish, sit on autopilot and enjoy 12 gallons at 12 miles per hour. That's interesting. 2,650 RPM. Okay, so what I want to do, now I'm backing off to almost idle speeds. So coming back to 2,000 RPM, I'm seeing under 8 gallons, 8 to 7.5 gallons per hour with a 10 mile per hour speed, which is healthy. You know, I do suspect many people who've chartered sailing catamarans and enjoy that cat life, if they look at this boat and consider what it can do for them, will see this as the more logical ownership option. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to stop the boat and I'm going to just float, because I know a lot of you guys are going to be thinking about gyros, which you'll see me demonstrating on many monohull boats, and you'll be thinking, is it necessary? I want you to just look through camera 2 and camera 3, look at the horizon, and through the drone shots we just got for you, look how stable this freaking thing is. Now I'm going to spin the boat. I'll use the joystick. I'm going to spin the boat. I'm going to put the bow into the waves. So this is just using form stability, guys. The boat's inherent form stability, because it's a catamaran, because we have 2 hulls as opposed to 1, and they are of sufficient width, it allows us to just have natural stability without needing a generator and a gyro to do it for us, therefore saving on cost. Now, feel it. Obviously, the bow is going to have a little bit more vertical acceleration up and down because the bow's now meeting the waves first, but still very manageable. The other thing that I've just noticed today, the bridge deck clearance, so that is the distance of the hull between the hull and the water, it's of sufficient height that it's not puffing salt water back out the front. So some cats, if you've got a low bridge deck clearance, there's the air pressure builds up when you hit a wave, and there's not enough possibility for the air to escape out back. And so what it does, it puffs out the front and then into your face and onto the windscreen and like all over your t-shirt. So not once today has it done that, and I would have expected it, especially when we were exiting Fort Lauderdale this morning, when we had outgoing tide. And sorry, it wasn't outgoing tide, but we did have some waves, and it didn't happen, which is really interesting. Now we can actually just skyhook it with the stern pretty much into the swells. I'm not actually directly into the swells, I'm slightly on an angle, but this is a very smooth orientation in these conditions. Obviously monitor the wave height where you are around the world, but if you just want to be drifting, or if you just want to be stationary, just pointing your bow down swell like this, look how peaceful this is. How good's this? So it's really, really impressive. I think if you are trying to weigh up monohulls versus a catamaran, the ocean handling capabilities of this thing has to be one of her major features and advantages, in my opinion. So that's good. So we're going to go from here to our next location, where we're going to play around with anchoring and beach landing possibilities, because another thing about this boat, I don't think you need a tender. See you there. Okay guys, we are preparing to deploy the anchor, and we're going to actually back up to the beach. Wade and I just cruised past Raccoon Island, where we were going to go and hang out, and you've seen me film before, but we found a better island and nobody's here.
Possibly because it's shallow water and difficult approach for a monohull, but that's not us today, so we're totally fine. And just to explain what we have done, our plan is to drop the main anchor, which you're going to see in a second. We're then going to come back on the main anchor, trimming the engines up, deploying the aft swim ladder, and then gracefully walking up the beach and tying a line to a pole or a tree on the shore. And in preparation for that, we've set up the line. We've opened these seats out back, which is super handy. That allows us to just have direct access to the transom. We have deployed the swim ladder, but only halfway, because it will double fold out. And I may not have mentioned, we've prepared a line and doubled it up, and we've also deployed and tested the anchor. We've done all of this in a completely relaxed manner on Skyhook. Okay, so this is one of the benefits, and I'm just going to point out, hopefully you're seeing this on the drone right now, because of the design of the Catamaran and the width between the two hulls, the engines are not working in a crazy fashion as you would notice them to do on a monohull where they are very close together. So with that in mind, I'm going to just position the drone. We're attempting to do this all in one shot for you, so we'll see how we go. And I'm just going to now take over and spin the boat with the Skyhook, and we will then get ready to just give it a little bit of aft momentum, and let's just spin it. So when you're operating these joysticks, just gently bring the joystick back to the center line. Don't go just releasing or like using it like a Xbox, because it's not an Xbox, it's an engine, and it would like to be treated as such. So just gently reducing and back to, there you go. We'll just side slip her a little bit there. Have you got me on the shot? Yes, you do. And now I'm actually just going to drift back a little bit, and before I start, but what I can do, and I will do this in a second, I'm going to re-engage Skyhook in a second, and just be super chill. And you know what, we'll do it right now. Skyhook, even though I'm moving, it might take a second to correct that, and then I'll just reset the drone for you, and I will begin releasing the anchor. So I've got the quick anchor windlass system on, and then you just want to do double tap to unlock. And now, in a relaxed manner, got a jet ski going behind me, I can start releasing chain. So I am in 13 foot of water. So let's just put out 3 meters to 4 meters of chain.
I wouldn't count on the calibration of
Okay, no problems. So what I will do is start backing up now. Boom.
I'm just gonna, you want me to keep an eye on the depth?
Yeah,
back
you
here
now
then?
start watching the stern, Wade.
I'm gonna stay out of your eyesight.
No, mate, no problems. You watch anything that's important. So now the goal is to just back up. We're just going to get a stack of chain out. And now I'm just going to let the chain tighten up a bit. I'm starting to thinking about trimming up the motors. Wade's watching everything for me. How's that looking there, Wade?
That's looking good.
Okay, I'm just watching the train now. I'm just going to let the chain take up. I'm actually can see it through the drone.
All right, bring your engines up, couple bumps.
Beg your pardon?
Engines up, couple bumps. There we go.
Okay, that's starting to take up on the chain. So now we can release and back up. All right, guys, so I'm just putting the boat back in the pen, back at the dealership. It's worth adding, if you're into aeroplanes, you definitely need to come and have a look at a boat at this dealership because they're right underneath the flight path. and I saw some freaking awesome planes going overhead, including a C-47 or DC-3, a Gulfstream, Cessna, Beechcraft, you name it. It was awesome. So now I'm just splitting the sticks. We'll see how maneuverable she is just on engines, then we'll transfer over to joystick in a second. A little bit tight here, but we can do it. And then we're going to back in. Okay, once we've lined the boat up. Okay. So now I'm literally just gonna start backing her in. I've got blow on dock, and I'm going to transfer. That's probably an awesome plane going overhead right now. Now I'm going to transfer to the joystick. Okay, so now I'm just going to do slow and steady joystick control.
So one thing about this boat, man, is the bow slips out on you real easily.
I think you're right, mate.
I forgot about that little piece. Over here, kitty distances. Oh, you're good. You got all the room in the world over here. Alright, we're gonna throw up against the side over here. About a teacher.
Thank you.
1.5.
Am I parallel?
Yeah, you're parallel. You're perfect.
All right, hope that was useful, ladies and gents. I'll just position myself to give you hopefully a nice background. And if we get lucky, we'll get some cool planes going overhead. I really do enjoy that. So how does it drive, and how many people do you need to handle a boat like this? This is an exceptional piece of kit through the water. You could compare this to many really great offshore capable adventure boats that you see on my channel, but now we're just maximizing on the volume, maximizing on the space, maximizing on the accommodation, and arguably we're still just as easy beaching the boat. That is if you went bow to. It's a little bit more technical, dropping the anchor and going stern up on the beach like we did today. But if you just nose the bows up on the sand, super simple. So love it from all of that aspect. The fuel efficiency, we've just got to touch on that again. We saw pretty much a lot of that running. We were running around at about 30 gallons an hour at healthy speeds, and we can do much less at lower speeds. And we saw a little over 40 mile an hour wide open throttle in the open sea today. So it's great. Around the dock, probably have one extra person to help you. What do we got here? Oh, it's just a commercial jet. Okay, I was hoping it'd be something cool.
But if you, around the dock, you are definitely going to notice the advantage of having the engines separated, and it will turn on a dime. If you split the sticks, this thing is going to be super controllable. Remember, you got 2 holes now, not 1, so there is going to be resistance. Therefore, you need to give it a bit of power to get moving. When it gets moving, it will be quite predictable. When you transition to joystick, remember, you can just hold position. That's what it's there for. You can press the button. So if you lose your concentration or if you get muddled, just hold position until you can settle your heart rate down and then go and collect yourself and put it in the pen. That's what it's there for. But I did notice from my stature, I couldn't see the finger, the floating finger. So I would benefit from someone who's useful in calling out the distances to me, which is what Wade and I did today, bringing it into the pen, and I think it'd be useful for most of you as well, depending on what your dock looks like. If you got poles, you just nudge up against the poles, then that's a different story. If you're a floating pen, then that's a different story. So just think about where you're at and what suits your mission. What should you be comparing something like this to? That is a hard one to answer, but I've got a couple of boats in mind. I've been thinking about it all day. So if you were just looking at the power catamarans, there is the yacht catamaran. I've already got the 36 on this channel. However, I think you'd compare it with the 41, to be fair, because this boat is maximizing on space. That 36 doesn't compare to this one in many areas in terms of the usable space and the livable accommodation downstairs. If you were comparing us to like, or still not sure if you're going to go sailing or power, go look at the XS11 and draw the comparisons. That is also on my channel as well. It's going to potentially cross some bridges, but again, the mission set for this, I believe, is a different one. If you're looking at motorboats, say in the monohull range, and I'm touching on a few different ones because I do think this design specifically can draw in many different demographics with a wide variation of mission sets. That's why I'm touching on a few different boats. That new Jeanneau 35 GT looks like it could be an option, and actually right behind me, not the 43, the DB37, I would say. It's on my channel. You can see that in the south of France. I've already filmed it. It's on the channel. Really, really big on space, full on luxury day boat. So you are drawing some similarities. However, all of those boats I've just spoken about, if we're going to talk about comfort and performance, this one's the winner. So take that for what it is. Is this something cool? Oh yes, I think it's a TBM. That's a TBM. Sick. Oh no, it's a Pilatus. It's a Pilatus. That's a turboprop private plane. Awesome, awesome. I was hoping I'd see a TBM. Anyway, I hope that was useful, guys. Jump in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed that, if you got something out of it. What are you comparing this boat with? Let me know, because if I know enough of you are comparing it to something else, I'll go and annoy that factory and see if I can get on board and do a video. Links to Patreon and the factory is down below in the description. Love you lots. See you in the next one. Thanks, guys.